All right, it's now time for our dishonorable mentions. These are the stories or people that caught our attention this week that deserve a call out, either for their good or for their stupid. You want to get started?
I will start with a dishonorable mention first and foremost to Spotify. This story came out late last week, I believe it was. You all will remember, and I'm sure we talked about on this show, Spotify's response to the whole Joe Rogan COVID misinformation, use of the N-word situation from last year. In response to that, the CEO had announced that they would create a $100 million diversity fund to be able to platform and support, diverse creators. Um, well, the report came out that a year later, Spotify has spent less than 10% of its alleged committed $100 million diversity fund. And also, not to mention, they're laying people off left and right, also at this particular moment, which is super interesting, right? How, diversity efforts, become a band aid, or at least they present them as a solve or potential band aid for various issues. And then just a year later, it's not that much of a concern, huh? Less than 10%. Anyway, an honorable mention to there's this exhibit in Miami called Give Them Their Flowers, an exhibit of Black LGBTQ plus Miami history. It's taking place right now at the Little Haiti Cultural Center Art Gallery. Give Them Their Flowers is a first of its kind exhibit to celebrate Miami's Black LGBTQ plus history, and obviously it comes at a critical time in that state, right, for Black histories, queer histories, which are all under attack by Florida's legislation and, the Don't Say Gay laws, all of that we've discussed about at length. The exhibit pays homage to Miami's Black queer history by merging historical research, archival imagery, artifacts, oral histories, video, and portraits of Black LGBTQ Miamians over the age of 40. And it's led by community historian and founder of Black Miami Dade, Nadej Green. I saw this pop up on my timeline late last week. I obviously don't live in Florida, but wanted to give a shout out to this. This is the type of work that is necessary, right? As we see the political situation going down, and getting worse, may I add, specifically in Florida. So shout out to Nadej and the folks over there. And then last but not least, this week is Trans Week of Visibility and Action. The day after you all hear this episode, which is Friday, is Trans Day of Visibility. Trans Week of Visibility and Action in specific is a week-long digital campaign to mobilize folks to stand up and advocate on behalf of trans justice. As we know, as I've already mentioned, there is a legislative assault happening on queer folks and especially trans folks, especially trans youth. If you go to on any social media platform, Twitter or Instagram, at trans_week, it is a page created and campaign created by Chase Strangio from the ACLU and Raquel Willis, basically trying to get people activated around pushing back against some of this legislative assault that we're seeing. Because as we know, as I speak about in my book, We See Each Other, Black Trans Journey Through TV and Film, out May 9th. Visibility alone has not and will not protect us. Action is also important. And if you call yourself an ally, if you call yourself somebody who supports and is interested in the work that we do on this show, follow that Instagram page, that Twitter page, figure out how you can do add some action behind your allyship, accompliship, etc. What about you, Jared? What are your honorable mentions and dishonorable mentions?
Well, one of them I want to touch on. You talked about Spotify and the ways that we've seen companies and movements, after the racial reckoning, how people were springing up to like give money and be a part of the conversation and want to be better and all these other things. And we see that happening at Spotify. We see that happening across industries all over the place. And I saw a share from this influencer that I follow. Her name is Ms. Christine on Instagram. And she is always demonstrating plus size fashion and ways to wear things, and doing like trying on the thing that you got versus what you ordered versus what you got, and that kind of stuff. And like her videos are really really dope, and she's always kind of like advocating as well for plus size women, saying that of all the fashion weeks over the course of this last fashion season, there were 9,137 looks that were put out by 219 brands.
Only 17 brands included at least one plus size model. 17.
And I just thought she talks about it, and we'll have the link to her Instagram reel in the episode notes. But she talks about how like people are not advocating for plus size models in the way that we think we are, or that progress is not happening in the way that we think it is, and we can see that in Fashion Week, and obviously in many other kinds of ways as well. So I just wanted to lift that up.
I just want to say one thing really quickly on this issue. Just if you would like a filmic companion to the shit show that is the fashion industry, specifically for larger bodied folks, you got to check out Fat Girls, okay, starring Monique, PHAT. Girls with a Z,
Oh,
I believe. I know you weren't expecting that, but it talks
okay,
about
wait.
this. It talks about this issue. I'm just saying.
No, you're right. You're right. I definitely thought this was going to be like a documentary, or
Sorry.
like, there's a new piece out by this. That's where I thought that was going. Okay. So yes, check out Miss Christine. She goes by Trendy Curvy. And her videos are really, really dope. In a random, but I thought about this last week and I was like, I need to do this. I want to give a shout out to the black guy voice of Siri. Now stay with me and I'm going to bless you. If you go into Siri, you can choose a voice, right? And they have American, Australian, different backgrounds, but then they have 5 different voices. And there's a black guy voice, and I changed my voice on Siri a long time ago because it was always like the seemingly white woman or whatever it was, or just like a woman's voice. And the way that I be talking back to Siri, it felt like misogyny. It felt like it felt really rude and aggressive. And because like I'll call Siri a dummy bitch at any moment, right? And I was like, I can't be doing that with a woman. It doesn't feel okay. Because Siri loves to be like, I can't work right now, or it's not operating. Or I didn't get that. And I'd be like, what the. So then when they added more voices, there's a black guy Siri voice, and I've had him now for years. And the other day I asked him a question and I realized how much kinder I am now. And I'm like, bruh, I get it. We're all out here trying.
Oh, wow.
But here, you can hear his voice.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
He's giving I live in Ladera Heights. I grew up in Inglewood. I'm with it. So is it not hitting for you?
It's not hitting for me in the way it hit for you, and that's okay. It don't have to. It's your phone. However, I will note your reaction to the fact that you were cussing out woman Siri, and now you are so much more gentle with the black man series. We need to talk about that, friggin'.
Well, I should say, like, I was still cussing him out. Now the more evolved me is much more kind to Siri, to Google,
to all of the AI in your home, because they're about to take over.
To Alexa when she's talking about exactly right. I've had to start being like, "Hey, bruh, I get it. You're not connected to the internet for some reason."
Preparing for them to take over. I understand.
Exactly. So I have a man on my watch and on my phone. I have a woman in the. Never mind. I'm not even going to do that.
How you feel?
Lastly, I was going to say. No, I'm not going to say. The last thing I want to say here is I want to give a special shout out to 3 folks who have been leading a very big effort that paid off very well this past Saturday. I want to shout out to Tre'vell Anderson, to Ray Love Jr. and Mary Grace Buchow, who have been our central leaders on the NABJLA Media Summit. that was on March 25th at USC. We had an extraordinary day of programming and amazing, fantastic people coming out to be able to learn, be able to be enriched and encouraged. And I could not have been happier with how the event ran. And I'm just really, really proud of y'all, proud of our board, proud of the full team that pulled this together. On the day of, we had about 100 people or more, I believe, from our team, but also from volunteers, from sponsors, from talent, from all kinds of different people. And you all did such a fantastic job. And so I want to say that I've said that to y'all privately, but I also want to say it publicly that I'm incredibly proud of this team and what y'all pulled off on Saturday. We worked really hard to be able to bring this to fruition, and I was really, really proud of it. So congratulations to everybody.
Yes, we ate that. We sure the hell did.
All right, wait, hold on.
Well, we
Because
did.
I wrote y'all a long message.
You did.
It was like this beautiful note, and Tre'vell's response back was, "We ate that." It was a too long text message because I had smoked. I was feeling away, and it was like, "We ate that."